And good morning, everybody. Welcome along. We're looking forward to a big day of sport today. England playing in the Euros later. But obviously we are here for round 4 of the US Open. James and Dave with you, as always, on the Late Tea Time podcast. And DT set up nicely. Bryson, who you discounted and I stuck up for, leading by 3.
Well, I was going to say, weren't you here yesterday? When I said basically Bryson would be the one. Now I've completely switched horses. He'd be the one that I trust most.
I have a selective memory. I don't beat you often on golf tips.
Right. Now, I mean, we put him up yesterday to beat Oberg in a 2-ball. Bryson at 21-20 said he was just, I don't know, in a really good place. He was the crowd favourite this week, doing all that extra stuff in the commentary box, and he was the one that separated himself at the end there. I mean, he did make a double bogey late on, but then he birdied the next. So 3-shot lead. It sounds good, but it can go so quick on that course. I did see a stat from Justin Ray, the stats guru, who said it's not as big as you think. I think three-shot leads going into the final round of a US Open. How many do you think get converted percentage-wise? What would be your guess?
Oh, wow. Well, you'd think it would be quite high, wouldn't you? 3 shots is quite a lot. 60%, 67%.
Very good. Yeah, it's about 66%. Yeah, but I think people think, it could be like 80 or 90, but it's good. You're on the right side of it at 60.
You don't need all these stats, people, DT. You just need me. Just ask me.
Pluck it out the eye. So he's in the box seat, isn't he? But a third of the time he won't win from here.
Yeah. Let's look at the markets and ahead of round 4, scrolling across the bottom of the screen for anybody watching. And Bryson DeChambeau, 10-11. He's the tournament favourite. 3-shot lead, as DT says. Rory, 7-2. Patrick Cantlay, 8-1. Ludwig Oberg, 16s. You got to Mathieu Pavon, he's 16-1. Hideki Matsuyama, 20s. Tyrrell Hatton, come on, Tyrrell, 55-1. He's carrying my money. Tony Finau, the same price. And my mate Colin, who had a good round yesterday, has kind of crept himself back up into contention for a place at the very least. He's 60-1. The rest are considerably bigger. Colin showed yesterday that, if he brought that game in the first 2 rounds, I could have had a winning bet straight away. But that you can actually beat the course if you play well.
Yeah, and I think it was probably arguably harder when he played it than later in the afternoon. It was a bit more windy in the morning, so that was a brilliant round. But just a shame it's not like a couple or 2 or 3 nearer. So I still think he's got it on. Another stat for you: in the last 25 US Opens, every winner has been within 4. So that kind of rules out everybody apart from the top 4. And I agree with it.
If you asked me, I could have told you that.
Yeah, obviously. So, I think it's a 4-horse race. And if it is a 4-horse race, purely from numbers and maths and percentages and odds and on all those things, that it's kind of set up for, if you like your value, you've got 2 great chances here because DeChambeau is DeChambeau and everyone's expecting him. Because Rory McIlroy is there, will always be popular with punters. You've got 2 other players there at massive odds, relatively massive odds, that have still got a huge chance. So I'm going to, even though it's kind of head says DeChambeau because he's got a 3-shot lead, the history is with him. Heart says McIlroy, 10 years and all that since he last won a major. But the calculating side of my head says you've got to have a bet and split your stakes on Pavon and Cantlay. I mean, Pavon, he's 18-1. He's playing in the final group. That's so dismissive of him. And I think it's because there's still this feeling that, he's only like a French guy who is quite new. But he's won at Torrey Pines earlier this year. It's not like I think it was back in when Graham McDowell won at Pebble Beach. They had Gregory Havre there, and it was like, plucky unknown Frenchman, and he did really well. But no one expects him to win. But I think you can expect Pavon to win, to be honest, because he's got this huge win on a huge course, a US Open course, Torrey Pines under his belt. He's in the last group, and I thought he'd fade away yesterday. Didn't at all. He's putting brilliant. I just think if you want a value play, you've got to go with him.
How does it affect Rory that he's playing with Patrick Cantlay?
Well, that's an interesting one because they fell out at the Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
I don't think it helps him. I don't know about you, but when I play my sport, I like to get on with it. Be it golf, snooker, I just like to get on with it. And playing with Patrick Cantlay would do my head in. It does my head in watching him. I'm not. This is not a sort of casting aspersions on his character or anything. He might be a lovely bloke, a bit dull, but when I see him, stood over, he's waggling his feet, putting, get on with it. So almost as a bit of insurance for my viewing tonight, I'm going to have a bet on him at 8-1. I think it's a big price.
I think he can get in Rory's head.
Yeah, I don't think it'll help McIlroy.
Yeah.
And we've seen this week, he's putted really well, Cantlay. He's looked in trouble and he's got out of trouble with a putt. Well, I think Rory's the other way. Rory's hit some great shots and then maybe missed the putt. So I think Cantlay might do his head in terms of how have we, half that hole? How has he shot a birdie to my par on that hole? And I've got this little thing as well. This is a bit kind of tea leaves, but Xander Schauffele won the US PGA. Those two are like that, aren't they? They're best mates. They got best men at each other's weddings. They play on the Ryder Cup together. It's almost like Schauffele wins one, finally wins a major. Cantlay wins one straight after. It's almost, you could see somehow that being determined. I don't know. I just think that grouping helps him. He's a low-key sort of guy. He's not in the final group. He can just plot his way around, watch Rory get a bit maybe frustrated and annoyed. And from a viewing perspective, he's the one I don't want to win, basically, because I just don't like watching him. But if I've got him at 8-1, come on, Patrick.
He drives me mad. I've said it before on here. I find him incredibly boring to watch. Takes an hour to take a putt, and it's just get on with it. But he did show in the Ryder Cup when they were head to head and they were having that in the heat of the battle, and it was getting a bit feisty. He played a couple of absolutely incredible shots, didn't he? He didn't let him play. So if it does get a little bit kind of tetchy between the two of them, I'm not saying they're going to go in come to blows, but they might kind of get in. They might kind of go back to Ryder Cup mentality. It won't necessarily affect Patrick Cantlay as badly as I think it'll affect Rory.
No, Rory's a more emotional character. I mean, all week, it's ironic, isn't it? DeChambeau all week has been saying you need boring golf. So what better for a boring player to sort of win doing that? Because the US Opens are made for people like Cantlay. It's just not for some reason he's not brought his game to the party in this tournament. But this week he's clearly on it. This is a golden chance for him. The leaderboard starts to thin out once you get below the -4s. And 7 of the last 10 US Open winners hadn't won a major before. So it's there for him, whether you go on history, current stats, or just the sort of dynamic of playing with Rory as well. So, Cantlay, I'm going to back him at 8-1.
I said to you, I mean, as you know, we've both got Tyrrell Hatton on our betting slips, haven't we? If we're going to go down to the -2s of Ludwig Åberg, -1s of Tyrrell Hatton and Tony Finau, they need help from Bryson, don't they? Bryson needs to go back towards the pack because if you take Bryson off the leaderboard, they're only 3 behind. But with Bryson there, they're 6 behind, Tyrrell is.
Yeah. It's just that this is a comment. Åberg looked to be going along wonderfully well, didn't he, yesterday? Suddenly, bang, triple bogey from nowhere. So that's the good thing if you do want to back someone who's a bit further down. DeChambeau could throw in a shocker of a hole. I mean, he had that double bogey late yesterday, so it's there. You can play. There's still each way offerings available. You can play someone just to finish in the top 5. For example, but I do think for the winner, I do think you're looking at the top 4 still.
Okay, and we'll say thank you very much indeed to switchwatersupplier.com. They're our friends on the Latest Tea Time podcast, our sponsors. And if you're a business and you'd like to save money on your water bills, here's how they can help you.
All golfers want to stay away from the water. That splash as your round sinks beneath the surface is never a good sound. But golf courses rely on water to keep those fairways and greens lush, for that post-round shower or the clean glass at the 19th hole. Golf courses, indeed most businesses, spend way too much money on their water bills. Switch Water Supplier can cut your water costs and help your business save money. Register now at switchwatersupplier.com. They will do all the hard work and get your business the very best price for your water supply and claim money back if you've been overcharged. Switchwatersupplier.com. Switching made simple.
Indeed, switching made simple with switchwatersupplier.com, the sponsors of the Late Tea Time podcast. And let's get back in then to DT's best bets ahead of the final round of the US Open this evening. And DT, if I was going to give you a one bet then on the top four, you would look to have a look at Patrick Cantlay to maybe just sneak in.
No, I'd take my stake and I'd half on Pavon, half on Cantlay.
Half on the French.
Pavon being just a value. I'd kick myself. Someone in the final group wins at 18-1. That's sort of mad. I can only think of maybe Wei Yang when he played alongside Tiger back in the 2009 USPGA. Yep, people gave him absolutely no chance, and yet he won. So
yeah,
it's silly to have someone at that price.
Thanks for your message, Lucas. He says, I think it's very difficult to bet against Bryson. As a fan, I want it to come down to the back nine with Rory and Bryson toe-to-toe, head-to-head, and battling it away on the final straight. That would make good viewing, wouldn't it? Yeah,
it's a shame they're not in the final group together, isn't it? That would have been almost perfect. But yeah, Pavon snuck in to partner DeChambeau. So yeah, we slightly denied that, mano a mano kind of scenario. But yeah, I think if DeChambeau and McIlroy, maybe they'll go to a playoff together. How about that?
That'd be good. And Tyrrell Hatton and Colin Morikawa just creep into it as well. That'd be perfect. Anyway, you've got a little bit of an acca for me ahead of the final round today, DT. Do you want to talk us through it?
Yeah, so it's a fourfold acca. So we start with, we're recording this with about 5 hours to go before this acca starts. So we've got a bit of time to get your bets on. So the first one is the defending champion, Wyndham Clark, to beat Cameron Smith. The argument there, I think there was a feeling, quite a few people like Smith. They thought he would really go with this course. I didn't really go along with that. I just thought his driving would be too wonky. And if you look at the stats, yeah, he's minus figures for off the tee. Not really got going this week. And I do think Wyndham Clark, there's that. I like the dynamic of the defending champion. Okay, he's not had his week, but he'll have one last sort of, proud. This is his last day as the defending champion, and he'll have a sort of proud moment where he shoots.
He'll care, won't he?
Yeah, I think he's got something to play for, hasn't he? Sort of that pride thing that he's not just dawdling along. He'll want to say, last day of my tenure, and I'm going to make it a good one. He did beat Smith yesterday. He's also, I noticed, Wyndham Clark, he's fifth for round one scoring on the PGA Tour this year, final round scoring. So he does play those Sundays well. So I'm going to back him at, was the outside at 5-4. I thought that was pretty good value. That's in the 16:04 tea time, UK time.
Cameron Smith was riding the crest of a wave, wasn't he? Went to live, and he's kind of disappeared when it comes to the majors at the moment.
Yeah, he's not been the same force. And yeah, as I say, I just think he's too wonky off the tee. There's too much trouble for him this week, and he's not been able to make an impression, to be honest. In the next two ball, Tommy Fleetwood to beat JT Poston. And with Fleetwood here, he's the favourite, 8-11. It's a fairly easy one, not too much argument involved. But Fleetwood, we have seen him throw in a really low one in the final round of a US Open, that's 63 at Shinnecock. I thought he did really well yesterday in tough conditions, shot even par. Started the day +5, finished it at +5, which moved him up. He did outshoot Poston yesterday, so I think Fleetwood is good in this situation. He can make an impression, so that's fine, 8-11. Then a bit of a gap in terms of time before we reach 6:37, and this can be a joint bet, really, can't it, this one? We're going to back Colin to beat Corey Connors. Colin to beat Corey. That 66 from Colin yesterday was brilliant, really, really good. And he's got a bit between his teeth. So he's already come third and fourth in the two majors of 2024. He might have in mind that kind of that Grand Slam of top fives. Remember Ricky Fowler did it? I think it was in 2014 where Pinehurst was one of the legs where he finished top five in all four majors, and Colin's on to do that. So I think he probably thinks he can't win from there. Being Colin Morikawa, maybe thinks he can win from there, but as you said, he'd need help. But I think he can continue that momentum from yesterday and beat Poston. Nothing against Poston, I just think it's Morikawa who's holds the aces there.
That's against Connors, isn't it? You said
Corey Connors, yeah. What did I say?
You said Poston, which was the previous one.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
So we were to beat Poston and Morikawa to beat Connors.
Morikawa to beat Connors, yeah. There's a battle going on to make the President's Cup team. Sorry, the Olympics, with the Canadians sort of jostling for position. I just wonder if Connors has got that on his mind as well. But yeah, basically it's a pro Morikawa bet. So
does Xander Schauffele automatically get to defend, or does he have to qualify?
Oh, that's a good question, actually. It's normally the two highest ranked players in the rankings. But yeah, because he won it in Japan.
Yeah, I don't know. Be interesting to know that.
Probably not. Probably not.
You'd imagine you'd want to defend your title.
It doesn't apply to other sports, though, does it? So I probably wouldn't have thought so.
Okay.
And then finally, at the 6:48 tee time, I'm going to go with Tyrrell Hatton to beat Tony Finau. Hatton's been a bit of a star of this week, I think. He's produced some great interviews where he just bears his soul. He's funny, self-deprecating. And I do like that angle that he said all week that any course can do my head in. So it's quite funny having everyone come down to my level where we're all going, So he's sort of relishing it. And I think he's good value there. The outsider, 11 to 10. Finau has had a good week, but he did just fall away a bit. He was tied for the lead at one stage yesterday, fell away a bit. And he's quite poor in final round scoring this year. So we've got that hanging over him a little bit. So I think Hatton has struck it great. His putting has just not quite been up to it, but it only takes a couple to roll in. And I just think he's a more solid proposition. I just think he's had a really good week. I think he deserves to finish top five here. And I like him as the underdog in that one. So yeah, that's it.
I think with Tyrrell, Dave, he's got that from a distance. He's kind of always kind of swearing under his breath and looking grumpy and throwing things around and stuff. But I would imagine if you actually met him, he's probably really good company. I bet he's quite good fun. Yeah, and
he's very self-aware. It's not like he just does it and he's an awful human being. He sort of knows it's a foible, and he knows. Yeah, he did that video, didn't he, with the DP World Tour where they were sort of doing anger management classes, and he knows that that's kind of his thing, and he's sort of playing along with it. So he's just had a really good week. I'd really like to see him finish on a bit of a high.
So you've gone for Wyndham Clark to beat Cam Smith, Fleetwood to beat Poston, and Morikawa to beat Connors, and Hatton to beat Finau. If you roll them all together, what price do we get?
We can get, I think you need to maybe shop around, but generally the price coming out there is about 12 to 1.
Okay. So a 12 to 1 fourfold there, late tee time. Podders to steer you towards the final putt today, as we've decided, well, we don't decide, as they decide, the players themselves decide who is going to win this year's US Open. It's been good fun this week, DT. I've enjoyed this US Open. There's the course itself, kind of in that Tyrrell Hatton manner. It is a bit mad, but it's actually, because of that, it's actually been a good watch, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we all like difference, don't we? We can get a lot of samey stuff on the PGA Tour, and this week has been like they're playing on a bit of a different planet. So even though, you could argue at times it seems a bit unfair when a ball is a metre away and it flings off the green. But I've loved it. I thought it's been really, really entertaining. And then look at the leaderboard; you've got an absolute quality leaderboard.
Yeah, indeed. So thank you for your time this week, DT, as always. And thank you and good luck with all of your bets out there, everybody. Please always Gamble responsibly. It's on the screen there, but if you want to contact us or follow us on Twitter, or X as it's called these days, DT's far more advanced with me when it comes to referring to that. At Late Tea Time Pod is our little name there on X/Twitter. And this has been a sports broadcast media production, an award-winning company they are, Sports Broadcast Media. We won an award this week. It's been good. I mean, a good week. We've had the US Open, so good luck with all of your bets. Gamble responsibly. And we will see you again, well, in the coming week, won't we? Because we'll be back with more USPGA, DP World Tour, whatever is going on in the world of golf. We're with you every Wednesday/Thursday, and we try and steer you in the right direction when it comes to the best prices. So have a good time, everybody. Enjoy the golf, and we'll see you again soon.
Always gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information.